Welcome to Chapter 7. In this chapter we will learn about intervals in A, B flat and E flat major, as well as A, E and D minor. Now this is a very short chapter, and so we'll get through it quite expeditiously. So stay with me, hang in, we're doing extremely well. Intervals. We will look now at intervals in the new keys introduced in this book. Here are 2 tips. It doesn't matter if the higher note is sharpened, as in here, the number of the interval remains the same. So whether this is sharpened or not, it's still a 7th. Okay? The fact that this is sharpened, it's still a 7th. And the other tip is, intervals might appear with a higher note first, like here, but we still count from the lower note. 1, 2, 3. This is still a third, even though the higher note is first, okay? In grade 1, we learned that an interval measures the distance in pitch between 2 notes. To measure an interval, we count up in degrees from the lower note to the higher note. But we're just finding out over here that it can be from the higher note to the lower note, as well as from the lower note to the higher note. Okay? So we still go this way and this way. We can see that these are both intervals of a third in B flat major. Even though the higher note is here first, it's still a third in B flat major. In E minor, here is a 7th, okay? And even though the D sharp is first, we're still counting up this way to make D sharp, to make an interval of a 7th. In grade 2, the lower note of the interval will always be the tonic, the lower note, whether it's here or here, whether it's here or here, wherever the lower note is at the grade 2 level, wherever the lowest note is, it will always be the tonic. That's a helpful thing to keep in mind. Remember, there are intervals above the tonic in C major. And here they are. Here's a second. From C to E is a third. From C to F is a 4th. C to G is a 5th. C to A is a 6th. C to B is a 7th. C to C is an octave. Okay? So in this one, we are going to write one note after each tonic to form the named intervals. Your note should be higher than the given note. It should be higher. All right, the first thing that we notice is that we're in bass clef, and it's B flat and E flat, which tells me that we are in the key of B flat major. Okay, B flat and E flat. So if we're going to do a second, it's right here. B flat to D is a third. B flat to E flat is a 4th. B flat to F, oh, that's not a very good place. That's not any better. I'm trying to get half of it on the line and half of it. Okay, F. B flat to G is a 6th. B flat to A is a 7th. And B flat to B flat is a octave. Here's a smart tip. Count the number of lines and spaces from the lower note up to the higher note. The number you reach on the higher note tells you the interval. Okay? The number you reach tells you the interval. All right, so look at this one. This is from A to the very next note. B is a second. Okay? And from A to C, from space to space, is a third. Okay? Space to space is an odd number. Space to space is an odd number. Space to space is an odd number. Space to line is an even number. Space to line is an even number. Space to line is an even number. All right? So it's from space to space is an odd number, and it's a third. Okay? Space to line is an even number, and it is a fourth. Space to space is an odd number, and it's a fifth. Space to line is a even number, and it's sixth. Space to space is a odd number, and it's a seventh. Space to line is an even number, and it's an eighth. Write one note after each tonic to form the named interval. Your note should be higher than the given note. Use accidentals if necessary. Okay, we're in A minor, and in A minor there are no sharps or flats. It's relative to C major. Yes, that's right. The first one is done for us. They want a sixth, and from A, you count the one that you're on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's your sixth. Okay, here is an A, and it says the note should be higher, so we're going to honor that request, and it's going to be line to line, odd number. I'm not very impressed with my middle C. There. Okay, this is A, and they want a fifth, and so we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's an E. All right. B flat, and they want an octave. It's treble clef, B flat, and they want an octave. So we'll do a flat and an octave. Okay. This is also B flat, and they want a fourth. We're in the key of B flat, and so we have to have two flats, B and E, and so we will have a flat here. Okay. Now this is a B flat here, and they're asking for a third. Okay. So we will do a third, and it has to be higher, so we'll do our ledger lines. That's B, F, A, C is the second ledger line, D is above the ledger line, and there's our third. On C, they are asking for a seventh, and a seventh is always raised in minor, and so it's going to be C sharp. There's our sharp, and there's our C, C sharp. Okay? They're asking for D, and they say it has to be higher, so we'll do our ledger line. Okay, D, E, F, G, A, B is what they need. And this top line is F, A, and above A is B. It's minor, and so the B flat is going to be in the key signature. D, E is the second. On this one, they are asking for a third, and the key of A has 3 sharps, F, C, and G. And so they are asking for a third, so it's going to be sharp, C sharp. Okay, here they are asking for an octave, and it's bass clef, and so we are going to put an A here. And on this one, they want a 7th, and the 7th is always raised, and so we'll do a G sharp. All right. E flat major has 3 flats, B, E, and A. All right, so let's put that there to help us keep it straight. And then E flat, and they want a 6th, E, F, G, A, B, C, and it's bass clef. So they want a C, so we'll do a C right here, C. All right, this is they're wanting a 4th, E, F, G, A, and A is one of our flats in the key of E flat major, so we're going to put a flat here and an A. All right, E flat, and they want a 2nd, and so we're going to put an F. On this one, we're working in E minor, and it's treble clef. And so E, E, F, G, A, E, F, G, A is a 4th, and it doesn't require any accidentals. From this E to B is going to require no accidentals, but it's going to require a ledger line because they want us to go higher. Okay, so this top line is F, and the first ledger line is A, and so we're going to draw that one ledger line, and then B will be on top of the ledger line. I'm going to see if I can take this. Yes, I did it. All right, now they want a 7th. A 7th is always raised in a minor key, and so from E to D sharp. We'll put a sharp here and a D here. On exercise 4, they're asking us to write the missing numbers to identify these intervals above the tonic. The tonic is different each time, but it's always the lower note. That is so helpful. Always count up from the lower note. And watch out for the clefs. Well, guys, you really don't have to watch out for the clefs. Let me tell you what I mean. This is treble clef, okay? So we're going to count up from G to C. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a 4th. Now, if we weren't paying attention to the clef and said this was B to E, it's still 1, 2, 3, 4. So the clef is inconsequential, okay? If it's from G to B, it's a 3rd. If it's from B to D, it's a 3rd, okay? All right, so I don't know why they feel like you have to watch out for the clefs, but anyway, that's my take on it. That's my take for whatever it's worth. 1, 2, 3, 4, a 4th. 1, 2, the line is 2, the space is 3, so this is a 3rd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a 7th. It would be much easier to go from G to G and come down one. Okay, but it's the 7th. E flat to B flat is as it's in bass clef, but if it wasn't bass clef, it would be C flat to G flat, and you'd get the same interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5th. One, 2 is a 2nd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6th. You'll get to the point where you can eyeball that and say, oh, that's a 6th. You'll eyeball, oh yeah, that's a 5th. You'll eyeball, oh yeah, that's a 3rd. So you'll get there, but until you're there, you'll just have to count and get to it. Okay? Nothing wrong with counting. Okay? And I'm just eyeballing this one, and it's D to D, which makes it an octave. But if you still need to count, go ahead and count. Go ahead and count. Nothing wrong with counting. Okay? We always start with a lower note. So this is 1, the line is 2, the space is 3, the line is 4, the space is 5, the line is 6. So it's a 6th. Okay? And this one, we always start with a lower note. 1, space, 2 is the line, 3 is the space, so it's a 3rd. Okay? On this one, A to E, 1, the space is 2, the line is 3, the space is 4, the line is 5. It's a 5th. Okay, when we look at this one, eyeball it, it's not quite an octave, and it has an accidental in A minor, and so it's a 7th. You can go all the way up, or you can go up to A, this A here, and count backwards. Either way, it comes out as a 7th. A, 1, the space is 2, the line is 3, the space is 4. It's a 4th. Okay. On D major, D to the very next note up is a 2nd. Looking at the lower one first, going to A, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5th. Okay, eyeball it. It looks like an octave, and it sure is an octave. So we're going to say 8 V E. Okay. This one is bass clef, and it's E minor. E, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4th. 1, 2, 3 is a 3rd. And this is, we're going to start with the lowest note. E to F sharp is a 2nd. On this challenge, they want us to identify the intervals marked by the bracket in these short melodies. The lower note of the interval is the tonic. The lower note is the tonic. But in some cases, the higher note comes first. All right, we did that in higher up in the page, and so we understand that already. So here on this one, the lower note is the 2nd note, and so we're going up 1, 2, 3. It's a 3rd. And they did that one for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That interval is a sixth. E, F, G, A, B, C. Yep, it checks out. Okay, we're going with a lower note first. E to F, well, F sharp because it's in the key signature, is a second. And we have come to the end of this very, very short chapter. And so this is Dr. Linda Lightbourne saying, dude, good job. Well done. So do the worksheets, do the chapter quiz, and we will see you in chapter 8.